Send me a bio.
Wait, do we need a motion?
To spend money.
You gotta stand over here.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, unless he's watching government.
What is it, everybody getting shaved nowadays? Look at you! Short hair.
Yeah,
Last time I saw you was a little on the longer side.
yeah, finally got time to
Smoke a cigarette.
take rid of it.
Well, mine just fell out.
There you go, I can see you now.
Oh, you do this so often.
All together.
Yep.
So, yeah, before you go. We have Bonnie Rose.
Route 16 closed down.
What?
Yeah.
Route 16 is what?
Closed down?
Again?
Yeah, no, there was a head-on collision on in front of Napa in Wakefield, and somebody got T-boned when they were turning around to avoid traffic in front of the mobile, which used to be the fucking stop.
Wakefield is like the dead zone of Carroll County.
Skip the numbers for the
Oh, that's all.
You may at some point want to mute him because he's got a parrot. And
I like the
it may
parrot.
say something that
Let
you
me
may
look.
not want to hear.
Like Winston Churchill's parrot. Which is still alive, by the way.
Really?
It's like 100 and something years old.
Say Winston's not.
Oh, Winston died when I was a year old. But his parrot is still alive. It's 100 and something years old. And it still swears quite often. Because I read about it in National Geographic magazine. Or the famous
Can we
Ed
turn the
Comeau
fan
keeps
off?
track of parrots page.
The only-
All right, let's get the party started.
I'm only saying that because
Didn't listen to you up and
very
running.
important to be almost-
Yeah, okay. I'll just look for the manifest numbers for you while you're going.
Yeah, okay, we can skip that.
All right, now we gotta wait
Turn the
because
fan down.
GovernmentOversite.com is saying we need it.
Backhoe won't do. We gotta turn the fan down so I don't hear the important
I
information.
love how that fan always comes on right when you're about ready to do something.
It's only when you want to spend money. You have it timed.
Not our fault we're spending money today.
Okay, it's 9:33.
Hit it.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the February 10th, 2025 Carroll County Commissioner meeting. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, we can do public comment first.
I'd let the media go
Would you
first.
like the media to go first?
Thank you, David Steer, Comeau Daily Sun. Chuck and I talked a little bit, I think it was last week, and he said there might be some information about Bonnie and the CFO situation that he might be willing to share.
We will be doing that momentarily.
I think we better get it out so you can have questions.
Okay, we can do that. Before we start, one point, we did not take away the finance department from Ms. Batchelor. We simply took the day-to-day supervision of the finance employees and gave it to our executive coordinator. But she was never given responsibility for running the finance department. Having said that, we have a couple of things to release. We have the amount of days and the amount we paid Ms. Batchelor
Based on the 2024 year.
based on that 2024. If you'd like to go over that, Commissioner Brown.
Well, I can give you we have a whole sheet copy of this, don't we, Melissa?
Yes, I can make them available.
Yeah, make them available. It's gonna be easier than, I'm not gonna.
Go through the whole thing.
Yeah. The key is down at the bottom. It's 60.5 days per year, and then the total payments right underneath it. I love that part. We need to bring it up.
Mute yourself, Kevin.
I don't believe he's at the computer.
Oh, he isn't looking at
Can't
it.
hear you over the parrot.
What's that, Mel?
Mute, can you mute yourself unless you have a comment?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
It's great, yeah.
I believe the other two things are Bonnie's resignation.
There's a resignation letter there, correct.
And the county response to Bonnie's resignation letter. So we can go on with the agenda as we digest that and re-meet again at the end of this meeting, or is this not gonna be a long meeting?
Okay, yeah, I've got a commitment at 11.
Oh, no, we'll be out. We don't have time before then. So do you wanna do that?
We can do that. We have public comment at the end anyway,
Yes.
so we can do that.
But Fred, it was your information request that started this.
Yes.
Yeah, I just, Fred Kane from Wolfboro. Is the clerk gonna return to,
We don't know that.
well, I mean, she hasn't been here since she was sworn in. You know, I understand she may have family obligations, but, you know, I think maybe she should resign at this time. You know, she hasn't made one meeting, and I think it's important that we get another, you know, commissioner appointed to that seat to work with the current two as we go forward. Thank you.
Dallas, any other public comment?
Yes, Dallas Emery. I'm going to agree with Fred on this one. This has been 4 meetings. I think legally, according to RSA's, I believe that you guys can vote on that because I believe it's 4 meetings. And then I may not be correct on that. It may be just different committees, but I believe this is also the same. It can be brought up that if you miss 4 meetings in a row, you can be expelled from your seat. So, I just want to bring up.
Look into it, I do not know.
Is it the 4th or is it the?
She hasn't been here since, I believe, December 19th. Was the last meeting she does have some extenuating circumstances. I'm not sure exactly why she isn't here, but she isn't.
I would once again say she should be able to inform you what's going on. One way or another, you should have heard from her in some form, whether email or phone call.
She does advise us that she's not coming.
Okay.
Anything else?
Frank, one more. Yeah, I don't know, if you can hear me or not.
We can hear all kinds of things. We can hear all kinds of things, Kevin.
I thought the dog was in the room.
Oh, yeah, sorry about that. Melissa's helping me out there. She didn't mute me. Thank you, Mom, for that. I just want to say, you know, like our president said in reference to the CFO, Mr. Batchelder, there's nobody that can't be replaced. I mean, she did a very good job. She was good with math, and, you know, she could rattle off digits in front of the delegation. Anyone could ask her anything, and she wouldn't fumble through her paper sheet. She would spout these figures right off the top of her head, which I thought was very impressive. I told her that personally. I'm sorry that things didn't work out, but she can be replaced, and hopefully for somebody who can do it for a little less money. Okay, thank you. And and attendance is really important. You know, years ago, you can verify this with Melissa. I used to take the attendance of the off-street selectmen decades ago, and attendance is really paramount to be here. You got to be present. I'd be present, even though I'm not elected to anything. But Route 16 is shut down. Thank you very much. And I'll try and figure out how to mute this quick. If not,
I got you,
trust
Kevin.
Melissa to mute.
All set.
How's it going with the replacement process?
Replacement process.
For the CFO or whatever you want to do next?
Well, we have a temporary one we're gonna talk about today. Well, a contract.
We have a contract to talk about. Other than that, right this second, we passed a motion, I believe, last time, to
Versus 2 meetings ago.
to redo or update the job qualification, job description, and then to put out a search for a CFO.
So you'll have a contractor in the meantime, and you're still searching for?
Correct. A part-time
Just to get us through budget
person
season.
to help us get us through budget season. Yes. All right. I guess we can do the approval of the minutes for February 3rd, 2025.
Do we have to exit This from Hale's location?
Oh, that's the Hills meetings, that's correct. Yes, you're right.
I move
We
that-
do. We
I
have,
move that we exit from the county commission and become selectmen of Hale's location to approve minutes.
so moved.
9:41.
9:41. Approval of the minutes?
I would move that we approve the minutes of February 3rd because that seems accurate and I have never seen such shorter minutes in my life. That's not a bad thing, I'm just saying.
It's not a bad thing. Second?
All
All
in
in
favor?
favor? We have one other thing for Hales, which is a check to be signed by the treasurer for $129 for, this is for Denise's cell phone, correct, Melissa?
I haven't seen it, I'm sorry. What is it?
Well, she's looking at that, you can sign
Yep.
it.
We do cell phone reimbursement at $43 a month, so this looks like the first quarter.
For the first quarter in the amount of $129.
Is that a motion?
Yes. Second, all in favor?
Yea.
And that, I believe, unless Melissa has something else for Hales.
No. I don't.
Hales is under control. I move we come out of Hales location and go back to county commission.
Second, all in favor? Aye.
9:42.
Now we have the meeting minutes of February 3rd, 2025 for the county.
I move that we approve the minutes for February 3rd.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Signature copy, there's
Oh, we got the numbers.
Manifest.
And we got the numbers here. So, the accounts payable for 2/7 was $139,491.49, and the payroll was $298,681.59. Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye. Those are the ones we just signed.
What's that?
Those are the ones we just signed.
Yes. No, those are the ones from last week.
Oh, that's good. It all blends together.
No, let's see. Other business, before we go to the hay, we have a professional services agreement from MRI Municipal Resources, Inc., and that is for help, temporary help in the finance department to work with our staff accountant, Michelle Rogers. It's to be billed at $120 an hour, and the person's name is Rita Donaldson.
I move that we approve Rita Donaldson's contract for $120 an hour, which is cheaper, and for, is there a length on this, Melissa?
I think it's open-ended,
Okay, but basically until after budget season.
It's going to take us through the budget season.
Yeah.
and the audit probably.
In the audit.
Yeah.
So, I so move.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Is there just one signature line or is it three?
Yeah, I'll get it.
Yeah,
You authorize the chair to sign? Okay.
don't forget to sign that. And then we have, did we pass that out?
Yep.
Okay.
Those two are done.
Stevens contract?
We have a Siemens contract to well, why don't we get Director?
Director Murray gives a
Murray
birthday
here.
present this morning.
Good morning. This is something that's just developed in the last few days. The fire panel at Mountain View, which has been there since they built the building in 2011.
And a pretty essential piece of equipment.
It's pretty essential. It is fully functional with the exception, you can't see it anymore. The backlighting has failed and it's integral to the main circuit board of the panel. And Siemens happens to have proprietary equipment. So our fire alarm vendor can't work on it. So,
And it's out of warranty. And
oh, well, long
out of
warranty
warranty and not repairable.
and not repairable. The part that is in there, it is replaceable, and Siemens has given us a quote of $7,011 to do the work.
For one part.
This is time sensitive, well, it's a pretty major component, it's the brains of the fire panel, but still.
It appears to be a Decidio operator interface.
Yes.
Do you know what that is?
I have no idea.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It's the touch screen. It's how you get into the fire panel. Like I said, it still works, but you can't see it.
I move that we approve this for the sake of the safety of the nursing home and get us back up to business.
And allow, who has to sign this? We allow the director to sign it?
Yeah, I can sign
Allow the chairman to sign this, or director.
Director to sign it.
Responsible party to sign this.
Yes. Second, all in favor? Aye.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On to hay.
Hey,
I think I saw Will here.
Good morning.
Good morning. Tell us the hay plan for 2025.
Well,
I'll grow it.
yeah, we'll
We'll
grow it.
Or no hay plan.
right. We'll grow it. I guess I'm here to. Melissa and I were talking a little bit about what the plans are, and I'll grow it, and then, or obviously it'll grow, and then whatever you guys. I'm looking for direction from the commissioners of what you guys would like to do. There's several different avenues that we could look at, and if you give me an idea of what we're looking at, we can, I can bring some numbers if you need to, whatever back, but I'm looking for, a direction. I'll manage the direction, I'm just looking from you guys. Some of the options that we look at, is we've put it out twice now to others, hasn't been a lot of interest in that. We do have, here on the county property, about 70 acres. I think it would be, a shame, obviously, to let it grow back into trees, but that is a possibility if the commissioners chose that. There are a lot of fields that aren't the greatest quality, and we could look at starting rotating some of those out, killing off the bad stuff and reseeding and bringing the improvement up. Maybe if we brought the improvement over a set amount of years, it might draw someone else in with higher quality hay that wants to take over the operation in the future, if that's something the commissioners chose to do. In the past, I can just tell you, in the past, it's been, from my perspective, it's been always pressure on revenue from the commissioners, and the board is, we want to make as much money as possible, and that's the way we've kind of always ran it.
Well, just for the sake of everybody watching, the budget was 30,000 in revenue last year. I think we did 18,000, if I'm not mistaken. And it was a pretty good year last year. So,
correct.
So I'm not exactly sure why that was, other than I know we had an issue with milkweed in the hay.
We've always had the issue. Personally, my personal opinion, we've always had the issue with milkweed ever since I've been here. I think we did a lot of changes in the business last year on how the business was ran, and that affected a lot of how we sold the hay. We still have a lot of hay in inventory. We made more hay last year than I've made in a long, long time. For hay bale, for round bales, I think it's the most we've ever made. So it wasn't a lack of production or a lack of getting the hay off the fields. We did really good with that last year. It's just the inventory didn't sell this year. And there was a lot of changes to the business, and I think those had an effect. I think going forward, as people get accustomed to those changes, that can pick back up. But the year before that, I had, been doing it for 15 years, and we had a really good profit going on back then. We were over $40,000 a year, $35,000 to $40,000 a year most years. So the potential is still there. I think our focus used to be that. I think the focus has possibly shifted a little bit, that we also want to take care of the fields, and the fields, the quality of the fields have become possibly a higher priority. So what I'm saying is we can continue to do what we're doing if that's what we'd like to do. We could look at taking one or two fields out of production to, make them better, to reseed them, do it, get rid of some of the milkweed. There's a lot of different.
Turn the fields over?
I don't know if I would. That would be a last resort, in my opinion, because once you put anything in the ground here in New England, you grow a lot of rocks that cause a lot of problems in hayfields, and we don't have the equipment to turn the equipment, or to turn it over real well. We don't have the equipment, we don't have rock picking abilities. So there's other avenues, I think, that are out there. I would definitely have some ideas, but I'd also definitely, there's experts that work for UNH, the Cooperative Extension, that deal in haylands and grazing lands, that I think we could put some good plans together. I think spraying is a possibility. That's something I'd look into on not complete fields, but we have areas where there's strong pockets of milkweed that we could spray them back and knock some of them back. So it's not as thick in the milkweed. So there's a lot of different options out there to look at on how to bring them back, if that's where we want to go, but it's a long road as well. It's not an overnight.
I like that idea of working with UNH. I mean, when you said we're making 35 to 40,000, how many years ago?
Up to 2 years ago.
2 years ago, when the season was bad, I don't remember what we did for revenue.
Oh yeah, 23 was.
That was the
Well, what
season
were we
of
doing
rain.
then that we're not doing now?
Well, we changed.
Being new, I think.
Right. Yeah. So the biggest one is when you convert to round bales. Is people traditionally, when you think about small farms, which is what
Square
Carroll
bales.
have a loft and square bales. Going to round bales, they don't have a place to store it. So we used to store hay. So they would come in and pay, let's say, $20, or 20 bales they bought for the winter time, and they would stop down once a week and pick up a bale. They'd have them all paid for. We would send them to them. We got away from storing hay bales anymore.
Okay, but, right, one, why did we get away from that? And two, why did we go to round? I'm just filling in the gaps.
Sure.
in my head.
Yep. First reason we went to round is because we no longer have the inmates out of the jail to do the square bales, and didn't have the staff to do it. It takes a lot of people to do square bales. So that's why we went to the round bales. We can do it with 2 guys. We can do everything and put it away. And you're not really losing that much more money at the price we've had our round bales. When you compare how much hay is in a round bale compared to how many square bales, it's pretty close. You're not losing much revenue on it. So, but you're saving a lot of labor and people.
We're not selling the round.
We're not, yeah, we're not selling, yeah, that's the problem. For whatever reason, we still have a lot of
But we
left.
dropped in hay.
Right. We were selling them, but we got the round baler in 2020. So 2020 all the way 2020, 21, 22, 23, I sold all of our round bales.
Oh, really? Okay.
Every bit went. 24 we changed. The commission decided to not deliver. They decided to not store hay. They decided to basically not have me dealing with the customers. All the customers would go to the finance office. There was a lot of changes when you have customers you've had for a lot of years, and changes. Some adapt and some decide. There's uncertainty. Hay is not like buying a bag of dog food where you got 5 places in town to go to. Hay, when you're feeding animals, there's only so many places you can go. You tend to buy your whole year's worth. You want to secure it. And another thing, when we keep saying, well, we're not sure if we're going to be in the business, we might have someone else come in, this and that, it scares people away. They're like, okay, well, if you're not going to be doing it, I'm going to go find someone that I know is going to be in the
For a
business.
steady source.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot that goes into it, and a lot of those things, unfortunately, just all piled on at once last year, and that's what I think really put the dent in the business. If we would have did a little bit of those each time, we might have, had some drop, but not a significant drop as we did. But it's just how it landed last year.
Understanding it's labor intensive, can we do a mix of round and square bale, or?
We do when we have the labor.
Okay.
The last couple of years, we've been doing around 1,000, 1,500 squares, which is down a lot from back in the day when we used to do 7,000, 8,000, when it was all squares. The squares don't have a problem selling usually. Those go pretty quick when you have them. But it's always a labor issue there for us with those. So
I think we have to look at it again. I'm not sure we should be in the hay business, truthfully.
I'm not ready to shut it down.
I'm not ready to make it go away, but
I do like the fact that UNH looking at the fields, if we can improve the
we
fields.
can do that.
And I don't think it's gonna cost us anything, correct?
right.
Let's start with UNH and let's chew on the rest.
So what do you need, what do you need to do that?
I'll get a hold of. I know they have at least one. That's not here in Carroll County, but they work throughout all the counties. I'll get a hold of our representative in Carroll County to hook us up with
Longer
the,
and extension.
right, Olivia and, I forget the gentleman's name, but there's one that specializes in forages and, haylands, and see if we can say, you know, meet them out and take a look at what we got going for numbers, what kind of, you know, issues we have, and help try to develop a plan. You know, I got some suggestions and see what they have, come back of a plan that we could look at
I
taking.
like that idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to shut it down right away. I'd rather have a plan, look at it, and if it's UNH, that means it's free of charge. I have no problem. Plus, we need to kill the milkweed one way or the other anyways.
Well, the quality of the hay was one issue, and the round bales, because not everybody can handle them, especially if you don't deliver them.
Does it make sense to get rid of the round bale, or do they make square ones? I think they do, right? I mean, machines that make square bales.
Yeah, so we still have a square
We
baler.
have it.
Yeah, we have a square baler and a round baler.
We have it. I'm just concerned we only did $18,000 in revenue last year. I'm not convinced it was because we switched the finance, but having them go to the finance department, I'm not sure that's the reason.
I don't think it's the whole reason at all either, sir. I totally agree with you. I'm just saying that's one of the changes we had. I think a lot of it was storage. The two biggest ones I would put it in is storage and inconsistency of whether we're gonna stay in the business. I had a couple of my big customers that said, if you're not gonna be in the business, I'm going to find someone that is gonna be in the business for sure, and they left. Those are the two that I would highlight being the biggest. Deliveries, a couple of small ones, but they weren't huge business people, you know, huge amounts. There was just some smaller local people that, you know, we had been with for probably over 15, 20 years that we would always take them to, and without delivery, they don't have a truck, they found someone that could do that for them.
So let's do this. Let's reach out to UNH and have them give us an evaluation or some idea of what they think
Okay.
can be done.
Including plans, yeah, for future use.
Right.
I mean, if we're selling more square bales, why the hell are we doing round bales?
Because of the
Labor
labor.
intensive.
Because of the labor.
So we gotta figure out the labor.
Yeah, that's the problem. And then by the time you hire people, is it worth doing them? I mean, it's like every other business.
Right.
Oh, you're retired, you look for something to do.
Yeah.
And then on the wet years, which we've had a couple of them in the past, with the round bales and the ability to wrap them, we can bale them at a higher moisture content.
Yeah.
Versus what you can do with a square bale, you have to get it really dry. So on the wet years, it's really been an advantage for us to be able to actually get the hay off the fields.
Sounds like we need to do a mixture of round and square. It's just a matter of how much of each.
Right, and that's always the whole farming thing is just like Commissioner McGee was saying is, you know, the profit you make compared to what you're paying people these days, it's always that balance.
Yeah.
That's tough. It's a
And
real
the
tough.
equipment, maintain the equipment, pay for the equipment, yeah. We'll take
Well,
all
I
that.
think the third thing is if we do like what comes back in UNH, we do have to make the equipment, commitment for long-term, just to give you the stability you're looking for. Say, all right, we're gonna do it a certain way, this is how we're gonna do it, and we see this for the foreseeable future. So it takes the doubt out of there so we don't lose customers in the long run.
Right.
But let's see what UNH
Not
is
that I'm a
first.
hay expert, but just reading, I did a little research online, and it's the only way to get rid of milkweed really is to plow the fields over. I mean, you can spray, you can do some other things, it's not as effective as really, and letting them lay for a year and then going back. And again, I'm not a hay expert, but everybody's an expert on everything now with the internet. All right, good. So we know what we're doing? We're gonna reach out
First step,
to
let's just
First
call it a
step.
first step.
Yeah, first
We're
up, I'll
gonna
go.
reach out to
reach out.
UNH, and you'll get back to us
Yep.
relatively quickly.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, great.
Thank you. You wanna bring them
They probably
at some
won't be able
point?
to tell what the fields look like till the snow is gone. Okay.
Right, but I think I got enough description, pretty familiar with them over the last several years that we've been doing it, and so that should hopefully get us started with an idea anyways.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay,
Okay. Is there
Thank you.
anything else that you guys need from me at all? or- Awesome. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All our problems were.
yeah, easy. Commissioners, reports, and comments.
I have no comments. I have no reports.
I have no reports.
I just want to make sure we're ready for Saturday.
And we're back to where we started.
Public comment.
Yes, Fred Kane from Wolfboro again. I did receive the letter, and I'm still kind of confused why the outside contractor CFO sent this to the delegation, you know, why it wasn't sent to the commissioners where she had the contract. The delegation didn't sign the contract with her, so I'm kind of puzzled And I don't know if somebody could answer that question or not.
I can't.
I'm puzzled too. That's all I can say on it.
Should have come to us.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Got a couple, so I read your response.
For the record, who?
Oh,
your name?
sorry, James Deere, Comeau's son. I read your response to Bonnie's letter, and she has not responded to your letter?
Not as of this morning.
Not that
right
I
before
know
got
of.
here.
No, she doesn't, like, your letter is pretty firm, but it doesn't give a deadline of when or what she has to do by when.
Well, in our mind, I believe she's still under contract per her 90-day notice. So that's how, I believe, speaking for you.
We left it.
Yeah.
So I guess, like, how long are you willing to give her before you seek injunctive relief?
Can
Go ahead.
on the attachment, did you get that with the list
Oh,
of items? At the top of the page, it said that first section of items is due within 7 days.
That's right, yes, that's what I thought.
Okay. So she's got to complete this work in 7 days to stay within her contract? And that was like 10 days ago. Well, not quite 10 days ago, but your letter was quite a while ago.
February 4th.
February 4th, and now I think it's the 10th.
It is the 10th.
I don't believe, did it go out on February 4th?
It went out last Wednesday, so
That was the 5th.
the 5th. It was sent email on the 5th and then certified mail on the 6th.
So it's been a few days.
Yeah.
And you haven't seen any progress on this work?
Not that I'm aware of.
We had,
Nothing.
we talked about, what, we had 100 and some odd lines that were, here we go,
Oh, the line item transfers.
Yeah.
Yeah, 111.
that were overdrawn.
Need to be, yeah.
Yeah, we had 111 line item transfers that were overdrawn.
That's year-end work that needs to be finished, which hopefully we'll be able to accomplish with MRI, so
Is MRI starting immediately now?
Wednesday.
And it should be noted that Melissa and the crew of the finance department have done a great job pulling this all together since this happened. Nothing but kudos to them, and deeply appreciate what they've done to keep us on track. And thank God. Who saved the budget?
I
Someone.
think they do a great
And we are
job.
on track, and we are on track. Everything is proceeding normally.
No, but who was the email that wasn't deleted that actually really saved
Oh,
us?
yes.
At any rate, things are proceeding normally. Everything is working as it should be.
I just want to make sure he's done before I ask.
Oh, there was one quick thing, I'm trying to remember what it was.
We'll be here all day.
Okay, so, I get it, what it is. So, are you continuing to pay Bonnie, so now will we have two sort of contracted CFO people? She's floating out there doing whatever, and MRI is coming on board, so it sounds like we have like essentially two people who are supposed to be doing this work.
She resigned.
Right, but she's also contracted, so now we're in a Schrodinger's CFO situation, or is she working, is she not working, I don't know.
Well, she said she was resigning immediately, so I don't think she's working.
Right, but like you
She's
consider her
asking, are we
contract.
paying her?
No.
Right, so you consider her contracted, you're not paying her, you're contracting with somebody else, you're asking for a transition, and that transition is not occurring as far as we know. Is that right?
I think you got it.
As far as we know.
Okay. Dallas, take it away.
I have a totally different subject. I want to go back to the hay. Dallas Emery.
Dallas, you would go back.
So I had a couple of things. I was just wondering why the inmates can't work the field. I see them over here working at the nursing home out in the yard all the time, so I'm not sure why they can't do that. It must be a state thing. Probably have to take it up with the state. My other one was, the county never said that they weren't going to be in business. All they were trying to do was turn the business of hay over to somebody else to continue it. and not be involved in it. They weren't not going to do it. So both of those are a fallacy to me. I think that that's not the reason. Okay, so it can be done, it should be done. If the county wants to do it, just do it and go back to sales as usual. And it's quite obvious that buying the bailment, the big rolls,
Rolls versus squares.
it was a mistake. So when you, after a few years and it's not working, oh, well, it might have been working because somebody somewhere was buying them, and they said, oh, well, we don't want to buy them anymore because we might not be buying from you. That doesn't make any sense to me. I think that the sales have gone down because people like the bales, the smaller bales. They're easier to handle, they're easier to transport. There's a lot of things with them. So we should be doing that, and it would probably generate more revenue. That's all I have to say. I'm good.
Yeah, I might as well speak on the hay
You're
also.
Fred Kane from Wolfboro,
Fred
correct?
Kane from Wolfboro, yeah. I believe there were 3 individuals that were the highest buyers of the ground bales of hay, so I don't understand where. Most farmers have equipment, have trailers, there's, you drive by any farm, there's loaded with equipment that could take a ground bale. And I don't think it was prepaid for the year. I think as they picked them up here, they paid for them because it was quite obvious with the right to know that Kevin Hool requested that some of the bales of hay was not paid until the end of the year. Quite a bit actually, and in one case it had gone into 2 and 3 years before they were paid. So, I don't think that was an excuse.
Was those former elected officials?
One was a former
Which
elected
is
official.
why we reinforced the ban on elected officials buying
Yeah,
on county stuff.
absolutely, and that shouldn't have happened, but, I don't think we're asking people to pre-buy the whole year, and that's an issue. I think they pay as they pick them up. Thank you.
One other thing, everything we passed out today is being emailed to the delegation this afternoon for budget, this coming Saturday. We thought they would like to know. It's been very quiet on the delegation front, so we are sending those out, both letters and the sheet of time, just as an FYI.
Thank you.
My question's related to security. At the exact moment that the CFO resigned, were the security credentials for her access to the systems immediately stopped?
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay, so the policy worked?
yes.
That's in place, thank you.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Here, she likes it too.
it's my turn up, Commissioners.
Go ahead, Kevin.
I just would like to mention that the biggest problem with the hay is the quality. Milkweed is talked to, and the horse market is a pretty good market for hay. But like I've said before, I hate to be beating a dead horse, but if the hay was just started a little earlier, Alan Siegel years ago, he would get three cuts, first, second, and third. And, the first cut is so-so, but the second cut is higher in quality, higher protein, more nutritious, and then, of course, is the third cut. I don't know. I think it's rather sarcastic to say, just we'll let it grow into a tree. So, that happens in New England really quickly, and that's why we back in 1996, we had 200 acres of hay field, and this is why the hay field is diminishing. But anyway, it's the quality of hay. The hay, the weeds have got to be. It can't have weeds in it. Number one, it can cause a huge death. And to quote our president, everyone can be replaced. And I'm not going to mention any names, but there's somebody else on that needs replaced. I don't mean it's Melissa or Karen or any girls in the office. Thank you.
All right, any other public comment? In that case,
I'm going to let you make this motion because I give up making these motions.
we
You know,
are
so
going
I don't
to
have
go
my cheat sheet
into,
either.
we are going into non-public session under New Hampshire RSA 91-A:32. Session 1 will be A, dismissal, promotion, and compensation. Session 2 will be consideration of legal advice. We need a roll call.
I approve.
We need a roll call.
Oh,
Second.
second.
No, we need a roll call.
Now a roll call.
We need a roll. Second,
Commissioner Parker.
second.
How do you vote?
Well, after I get done with him, I vote
Second.
yay.
Chairman McKee.
Yes.
There.
So the session 2 is L, correct?
Session 2 is L, I'm sorry. Yes,
Yes.
correct.
I actually like how this is written now. It's easier.
Yes.
Do you expect any announcements following your non-public sessions?
10:11.
What's that?
We do not.
Okay.
We are coming out just to adjourn, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was that last bit?
We're just
coming
coming
out.
out to adjourn.
Okay.
Okay, Damon,
Here.
get out.
You don't want to hang out with us, Damon.
Oh, you're
All right,
gonna
let's
hang
do
out
it,
for
because we
the-
got
Nice to see
they got a
Jamie.
10:30
It's nice to
meeting.
see him here in person versus, zooming in.
They got a 10:30, they need this room at 10:30, so let's, is that what it is, Melissa?
It's 11.
Oh, it's 11? Okay, never mind.
This is punctual.
That doesn't mean take your time.
We can take our time.
Thank you.
I want more parakeets.
I wanna
at
go,
meetings.
We have non-public.
Usually somebody named Melissa has notebooks for us.
Well, we're going to make I'll accept a motion to come out. Oops, are we ready? I gotta wait for it.
I'm always ready.
I'll make a motion to come out of non-public session under sections 1 and 2 and seal the minutes.
So moved. Second.
Because releasing the minutes would make the proposed action ineffective.
Would make a proposed action.
Is that how it was worded? I think so.
For both of them?
For both of them, yeah.
I must have the cheat sheet.
Yep.
Can we call it a script and not a cheat sheet?
Yeah, no cheating.
Why don't we just call it the Reader's Digest for
Yeah, I just need to-
less words?
Anyway,
That's what it is. It would render the proposed action
Action
ineffective if
ineffective.
you release the minutes.
Correct.
That's- Yeah. That's
Move to
what I'm
adjourn.
questioning.
second,
All in favor, say aye.
all in favor, aye.
Next week,
10:45.
10:45.
next week we'll be meeting on Tuesday morning at 9:30 here because Monday's a holiday.
Correct.
We want our audience to know this because we know you care and like to show up. And Fred, you still haven't brought coffee yet, which I'm a little disappointed in you.
Yeah, I'll put that in my book, I'll talk to my boss.
We will
about
adjourn
that.
till I call the chair. Melissa, these are the two.
Oh, yeah, those
copies.
things too.
Okay.
Ed, we'll see you next Tuesday morning with your bright, sparkling, sunshiny self.
Back to work on my cell phone. Keep working.